It's cute. Did she move closer?
It is. I mean, he lives here, so we're close. Bedtime is 2 minutes faster, but it's some apartments on the west side. Yes, yes. So yeah, she's
Right. Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 school board meeting. If you would please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. If I could have the reading of the mission and vision statement.
Mission statement. Richmond Community Schools equips every student with knowledge, skills, and opportunities to feel lifelong learning, achievement, and purpose.
Vision statement, encouraging minds and challenging learners, achieving success together.
Thank you. Ms. Markwood, would you like to introduce our celebration for
Yes,
tonight?
absolutely. Good evening, President Brand and trustees. We'll have Mrs. Hazel Baker come to the podium to introduce our celebration for this evening.
And we have to make it quick because they have practice, but kids may be wanting to drag this out a little bit so they're not in the heat. So I'd like to have the Richmond High School Marching Band leadership come on up here for a moment, please. So we're going to celebrate our student musicians or student champions that we have here. So they will introduce themselves, say what grade they're in, and then we will also have a student explain their show and some of their upcoming events that are competitions that are coming up, and of course the ice cream social as well. So who wants to speak? Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Chasen Thurston Perkins. I am a senior for the high school, and I am the head drum major this year. This year we have an amazing show put on. It's called From Richmond with Love, and it is a show about the spy that's going around, and just like it's going to be an amazing show. And we have multiple movements that are both exciting yet like full of story. And then once you're out there, if you come to watch us, which on this Saturday we have the Centerville Archway Contest, we will be showcasing our show out there, and it will be an amazing time, and we are so happy and proud of like working on it.
So why don't you guys step up and introduce yourselves, what instrument you play, and what grade you're in? Or if you're a dance, I guess, then we'll let it go. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Lena Allen, and I am a senior in high school, and I'm a doublet.
My name is Brady Newton. I'm a senior. I play the trumpet, and I'm the band captain this year.
My name is Asia Alana. I'm a senior. I am one of our drumline co-captains, and I play the marimba. My name's Katie Phillips. I'm a doublet, and I'm a junior.
Hello, I'm Chloe Thompson. I'm a senior and I'm a doublet officer.
Hello, I'm Lauren Diamond. I am a senior and a doublet officer.
I'm Isabel Spicer. I just graduated. I play the trumpet, and this year I'm a drum major.
I'm Kylie Atwell. I'm a senior. I play the flute, but I'm one of the drum majors this year.
My name is Lemon Swanson. I'm a senior, and I'm the trombone section leader.
My name is Cal Newton. I play snare drum, and I'm the other co-drum line captain. And I'm a senior.
All right, so explain to us some of the events that are coming up. Archway Days?
Yes.
Archway- yeah,
So this Saturday, we have the Centerville Archway Contest. Next Saturday, which is, I can't remember the dates, we have the Muncie Contest, which we're going to be heading up to Muncie and performing there. And then after that, we have the Winchester Contest. Then, I think it's what is it? Like a
Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday, the next day,
Yes, the next day, we have the Ice Cream Social, which should be held at the high school. It's going to be a great time, food. We're performing our show, I believe, 2 times, and it's going to be an amazing time. And then Wednesday, August 7th, we have State Fair Band Day. Friday, that's what I meant. Sorry. I haven't remembered these dates. That's our State Fair Band Day, which is like big. It's pretty big, and we head over to Indianapolis and we perform for both shows, morning and night. And we are practicing and doing our absolute best to get as far up as we can for State Fair Day.
Now, who all did you bring with you guys today? Who's all, did anybody bring parents, coaches, teachers? Who's here?
Well, from what I see, we have some band parents here that the band parents kind of keep us steady, keep us moving forward. They're in charge of things like the props, the fundraisers, and allowing us to continue moving. And especially Blue Juice, big on the Blue Juice. I see some parents, and I see Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons is our main music director. He allows us to perform the musical side of this show as best as we can. And then I see Kim Shipley. Kim is just like, Kim's like the goat of the Devilettes. She teaches them everything. She makes their show. She allows the Devilettes to kind of put our show together.
All right, so I also know traditions. So my husband was in band when they won state. So you guys are also collecting pennies? Do you guys still do that? No pennies, you're doing that? So what kind of pennies are you guys collecting?
So we collect, what is it? Our first penny is the first year we.
The first year we won.
The first year we won.
73.
Yes.
And someone else. And then the current year.
And then we have our current year, and we have like our current year penny in our left foot.
Actually, I don't know how that's gonna work because
Oh, they're dying.
these pennies are gone.
But we step into this new season, this new show, this new year, and we always carry our first win with us at all times.
In the second win?
1988.
Second win, of course. Always gotta keep it in
Won
mind.
state in 88. So my husband still has his pennies. So, I mean, that's been 35 years ago. So, I think it's really cool. And then I also have seen photos. You ride the bus and go through the tunnel.
Yeah, so there's a specific
Yeah.
bridge that when we enter the State Fair
Right.
day, we all put our legs up above the seats, and we all get really excited and start screaming. We're like, yay, we're finally here. It's kind of like our
We
entrance
scream
thing.
feet. That's what we do.
We don't. Apparently they do.
Oh.
Are any other questions or comments?
No, just
I think a few of us have been through that and
Mm-hmm.
have been through that before. So we former drum major, and yeah.
Yeah, I was a saxophone player, and my 8th grader chose to do summer band this year.
Oh, so you're a band parent too this year?
Trying to be. I give shout out to the boosters because they are
And they have a
amazing.
meeting tonight at 6:30, so if anybody is watching live, I just found out.
Yeah. Yes.
And then also always collecting donations as well to help the program. So, I think a pretty good fundraiser is also your guys' ice cream social. So we're really asking people to come out to that to support the band and Devilettes as much as possible. And then I'm gonna assume that you guys are also gonna be playing at one of the football games. You guys are probably doing that then also halftime of the game. So, invite our fans, spectators, the community to come to the game to watch you guys there too.
It'll be the first home football game.
First home football game, okay. August 28th.
I believe. That sounds really close.
Sure, I knew that, okay. All right, any other questions? Can we get a photo with Mr. Brand?
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Feel free to stop by after your meeting if you want to watch us practice.
And I'm wearing black.
Thank you.
Let them file out. All right, next up we have public commentary. For those who wish to comment at this meeting's board meeting, maximum speaking time is 5 minutes. Please keep your comments fact-based and within the time permitted. Comments are not to be personally directed or abusive. Comments recognizing the work of staff and students are always welcome. However, critical remarks concerning specific school personnel or students are to be made through the complaint process available in Policy 9130. School board members do not respond to public comments during the meeting, but the board president will send you a personal follow-up email. Please state your name and address before speaking.
We have one tonight signed up, Becky Eastman.
Greetings. I know several of you. My name is Becky Dimmick-Eastman, and I'm the head of school of the Richmond Friends School, which you may not be aware of. It's a small school just a few blocks away. And I came to talk about the policy that you're considering not allowing private school students to engage in extracurricular activities with Richmond Community Schools. Our school is a different private school in a few ways. One is that we're pre-K to 8, and so our students, we do not have a high school. We don't plan to have a high school, and our high school of choice is Richmond High School. Both of my sons went to Richmond Friends School and graduated from Richmond High School, and I'm really glad. Our last class, graduating class of 9, which is big for us, 8 of them intend to enroll in Richmond High School in the fall. Another thing about our school that is different than the other ones in town is that we do not take vouchers. We do not take vouchers for a few reasons, but one of the major ones is that when we considered it, our parents, faculty, and other community members did not want us to take any money from the public schools. So I think that's really important when I discuss my next thing, and that is that currently our students are allowed to play some sports with Richmond Community Schools. We don't involve ourselves in other extracurriculars, although I suppose that's something we might be interested in the future. It's not many students, and it's only at the middle school level. But last year, it was discussed that maybe private school students, our students, would not be allowed to continue in October. And parents had a meeting, and they informed me that if that were true, that they would start looking at the county schools and Seton and other schools so that their children could get to know the coaches in the district. And that once they did that, they would stay with that district. That had not occurred to me, actually, and I didn't know if maybe it had not occurred to you. And so I just wanted to share with you that this is a way to develop a bond with students, with their coaches, and with their teammates so that they will choose to stay in Richmond Community Schools. And also, I think it benefits our students and the teams. It was really great for me to just see football practice and seeing some of my kids out there, and certainly we have also some of our previous students in the marching band. So I just wanted to share with you that we are hoping, we also understand, we are hoping that you consider allowing maybe exceptions or consider this rule about not allowing private school students to engage in sports. And also that we understand that there are costs to sports and that we'd be willing to have a conversation about that cost too, because we certainly don't want you to lose money on having our children in your sports. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have item 4.01, Human Resources Report, staff evaluations.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. I will wait for it to pop up there real quick before I really start. I apologize, I'm a little under the weather, so I brought my water with me just in case I start coughing to everyone. I'm here to tell you, I have a few minutes of your time to talk about the evaluation guidelines for the 26-27 school year. They largely mimic and reflect what was last year, so I'm going to talk through that, what it looks like, is required by a policy that I do that, and I embedded that policy into board docs so we can see, but largely the evaluation guidelines will mimic exactly what occurred last year. So the purpose of what we do here is to provide clear expectations and some consistent procedures for teacher evaluations in our district, for transparency, consistency, and support for professional growth. And so as a result, we do use the modified RISE 2.0 rubric in the district. That is our evaluative framework, and it has been our evaluative framework for quite some time. So I'll talk about some of the observations, expectations. So our probationary teachers, or those are teachers with 0 to 2 years of experience, they can have or may receive up to 2 extended and up to 2 short, but a minimum of 1 each. And our proficient educators, those are educators with 3 or more years of service, you'll sometimes hear that referred to as established. Established, that word was prior to 2011. The law since changed, but we do keep it in there just for consistency and clarity. Those teachers, they get a minimum of 1 extended and 1 short observation annually. So at least 1 observation is conducted each semester. So you'll typically see as a long in one semester and then a short in the other. They are conducted 1 and 1, unless they receive more, if you're especially probationary. But there are walkthroughs and feedback is encouraged throughout the year. So for as far as walkthroughs, our administrators in the building level are in those classrooms, every educator, twice a month. They're in there quite a bit. That's what we expect of our administrators who are in those classrooms. They're seeing our teachers teach, and they're providing feedback in a timely way. So here are the key timelines for what we expect as far as our educators can expect from us when we walk through the evaluative process. So at the very beginning towards the end of the year, it's a self-assessment. Educators will do that themselves, and it's usually due about September 25th, and that's the date for this year. The first semester observation deadline is December 11th, 26th, so we make sure it gets done right before we go to winter break. And then the second semester, the observation deadline is May 7th, and that gives us a couple weeks to finalize the evaluation prior to our educators leaving. So that final EER, that's the number created as on an evaluative measure. That number is shared with our educators prior to them leaving on their last contractual day. So I want to talk about feedback and conferences. This is one of the most important parts of the evaluative process. So the short observation, that's no less than 15 minutes. Has to be at least 15 minutes as defined in our guidelines. It's provided that feedback is given within 3 school days. So if it's conducted on a Monday, we would expect it by a Thursday. The same week, timely feedback is really important. The extended observation, which is no less than 30 minutes, the written summaries and the post-conference occur within 7 school days. So within 1 school day week, we want to make sure we are having that feedback conversation with our educators. And then if additional support or observations are available to our educators whenever they need. If they would like additional feedback, if they want someone to brainstorm or be a thought partner with them, we can provide that through walkthroughs and or short or extended observations or even non-evaluative measures, simply to go and see. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, I've messed you up here. So all teachers receive at least 1 summative evaluation annually, and teachers may submit written responses to evaluations. So should they have additional context that they would like to provide about an evaluation, they can provide a written statement that can be paired with that summary, just in case they want to provide additional context for the evaluative process. And lastly, I would end on improvement plans. So should we find ourselves in a position where we want to discuss deficiencies, that plan can last up to 90 school days with clear benchmarks. We co-create that with the educator. Should we find ourselves in that position or need to do that? Teachers, they receive access to training, resources, coaching, and professional learning if applicable. And the plan will conclude at the end of those 90 days with a determination of next steps. There are 3 clear outcomes. We either stay on the plan, we revise the plan and continue the plan, or we're off of it completely, or we proceed with maybe this is not the right fit as far as an employer for you. But those are the 3 possible outcomes laid out in the evaluation guidelines. So that is our evaluation summary, but I want to make sure you did see the RISE rubric is posted there for everyone to see. That is the rubric we use for all of our educators, and then the guidelines are there for administrative content for you all to see. It's about 6 pages long. So that is my evaluation guidelines talk. So thank you. Are there any questions for me? Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have item 4.02, the bond project update with Mr. Brad Walton.
Good evening, board members. Come before you tonight to kind of give you an update. This dated July 10th, 2026 is when we submitted it to you guys on Friday, so you guys could see it. And so the pictures are about 5 days old, so a lot has actually changed since then. But we'll go through and over at Liebolt Field, we had some issues there early on in a delay with some of the soil conditions. The spot field's in progress, the compaction tests are being done, and they are moving forward now with the practice field. So it is making headway again. The south D zone is paved in the main football field. There's drainage that goes in between the paved D zone and the track, and when they were paving the D zone, it was damaged with the paving machine, so they are replacing all of that 100%. The conduit for the scoreboard play clocks have all been installed. Wire's not been pulled yet, but the groundwork for it is all done. The tennis court demolition is complete, and we've got the drainage plans that have been approved, and they're starting on that. And on the north D zone of the Liebolt Field, the field events have all been installed. So a couple pictures here. The picture on the left is the south D zone and the track. There is a, if you can see there is a drain in between there, and it was cracked pretty good, so they are replacing all that. Our throwers should be excited. We've got a new discus pit and a new shot put area. And then that's what's left of our tennis courts, guys. Wanted you guys to show, to see that you are getting all new. It is, the substructure, everything is being pulled out. They're putting new drainage in, and it should handle all the problems we've had in the past. The applied skills wing over RHS is coming along beautifully. The wall tiling is completed. They're working on the tile floors right now and grouting. The cabinetry is being installed in the kitchen area, and they're finishing painting right now. So here's a couple of quick snapshots of it. The picture on the left is where the sinks go when you're walking into the restroom area, and when you go around, there's toilets and then a great big shower. Everything is tiled 100%, so cleanup and maintenance of it will be very easy. The one in the middle is one of the restroom compartments, and the one on the right is the start of the kitchen area for applied skills. It is really coming along nicely. The secure front entrance, got a couple issues there. The drywall is complete and paint is ongoing in the main lobby, or in the conference room area and the waiting area, and the bathroom has tile being installed right now. The exterior site work's underway. The first ramp was scheduled to be July 1st, but it was delayed because we had to contact you guys and get clarification on the elevations, because we didn't want to adjust any of the elevations of the berm there in front of the school. We wanted your guys' input on that, because that would have been a major deal. So we're looking at having that hopefully done by the end of this week or very first of next week. And some finished items are delayed and not going to be until mid-August. So some of the doors and things like that have been on back order on delay. So the secured entrance will be functional. You will still have an outside entrance door and then the interior entrance door that are currently there. Those will still be operational. So this was June 17th, And the next three pictures are basically from the same angle. I just wanted you to see the progress from it, what's going on. So there's a lot of progress going. Now the picture on the right is totally changed because again, that was taken last Friday and put in, but today all the framing's done there and they're starting on the hard pan ceiling. So they're making a lot of progress there.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sorry.
Go back. That middle picture.
Yep.
Where is that? Is that like
So that is
alumni room that used to? butt
Yeah,
up
so
against
that
the
used to be
windows?
two classrooms, and the door at the very end of that is 1A. So that's the corridor that is going to have 3 conference rooms. The first one, or it's small, medium, and large. So depending on how many parties are involved in the conferences. So.
Thanks. Okay.
Then this is the exterior right now. Again, this was Friday. This is totally changed as of today, but I just wanted to give you some progress pictures of that. So it'll be really nice. We've talked about it for years, ever since I can remember, having a handicap entrance or ADA compliant entrances to the front of the building. And so this is going to solve all that issues, or all those issues. The Career Center restroom renovation is moving along really well also. I took a couple pictures that you'll see here. I wanted you to see what was behind the walls because, you know, you guys see the finished product. When you walk into something, you don't really see everything goes into it. It's kind of cool to see the behind the wall stuff. Some new plumbing's being installed, drywall's installed, and tiling's underway. So this is kind of the picture on the left is what's behind the picture in the middle. So you can see there's a lot more to it than just a drywall and some pipes sticking out of the wall. And that chase actually has pipes and all the plumbing for both the women's and the men's. It's back to back. And then the next picture is the tiling is going up in the women's restroom, and the middle picture and the picture on the right is coming out of the cafeteria. That little inset there will be 2 water fountains, so which were there, and they're being replaced with all new. The Dennis HVAC project, we've had a couple hiccups there, but we're still on schedule to be operational for the start of school. The painting is complete except for the door frames, which that'll be the last thing we do after we move furniture in, because anybody who's ever moved a house understands. We will have dents and dings. We ran into some flooring challenges, and that's what set us back. It set us back about a week. So the moisture content of the concrete came up above what was recommended for the warranty on the flooring. So we've had to take some precautionary steps because we did want to have a warranty on the floor. We had to go in and grind all the concrete surfaces and all the classrooms, and then they're going to install an epoxy coating on top of it, which takes about 6 to 8 hours to cure. Then they'll be able to prime it and start the prep work then and install the flooring. So we lost about a week with it, but the guys, all the contractors over there are working, 6-7 days a week. I know, like our HVAC contractor, they're working like 7/12s. I mean, they're really doing it. The name of our game is we have, 8 weeks worth of time to do about 8 months worth of work. So it's all hands on deck over there, and they are really working their butts off. All of our contractors, all of our projects are really putting in the time. So the picture on the left, I just wanted to kind of show you guys, that's a grinder. And you can see the reference to the windows in the back. You guys know how big those windows are. That is a grinder. I mean, it is, when you're behind it, those handles that are sticking up, they're literally holding it like this, walking around the room. It is unbelievable to see. It's like 34 inches wide, so it barely fits in the door, and it makes quick work of it. So they were anticipating, up to 2 weeks for that being a delay, and they were able to get that all done in a week. So we're moving along there. The middle picture is one of the rooms minus the flooring. So they are making a lot of progress there, and obviously the casework's not in there either, the cabinetry. And then the one on the right, just wanted to show, I know when we did some work there several years ago, one of the biggest complaints we had was the noise with the HVAC units. You can see the ductwork coming out of there, and in the middle picture, it is all ducted in the ceiling, similar to this. So it is much, much quieter, and it's going to be a lot more conducive to the learning environment. The Fairview Tower, there's really no change. We're still going through the shop drawing process, and we're still on schedule to hopefully get that done over fall break. So that's all I've got for you. If you guys have any questions.
Quick one. The water fountains that are going in Career Center bathrooms, are those going to be?
Hot bottle fillers, yes.
Great.
Know exactly where you're going with that. Yep.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, it's not necessarily a bond question, but we hadn't gotten an update on the flooring at RHS with the tiles and the glue. What, do we have an update on that?
So we've got we were able, since the first time since it was installed, we were able to put the finish on the second floor.
Okay.
And it is night and day difference. It looks really good. Kudos to our environmental staff. It's the first time they've had to work with this type of product and the sealer, and they did a phenomenal job. It's funny because they were pointing out imperfections to me that I wouldn't have noticed, because they are perfectionists at it. They take a lot of pride in their craft, and if they wouldn't have pointed them out to me, they did not stick out to me. I wouldn't have seen them. So they're a great crew over there. We're not going to be able to get the main floor waxed or sealed this year just because of all the construction going on, but that'll be taken care of. I don't know if we're going to have time over Christmas break to do it, but it'll definitely be done next summer. And when they scrub it out and seal it, it takes a lot of that out, the imperfections out, so it masks a lot of stuff.
Thank you.
Kristen, do you have a question too?
No, good.
So how many rooms did that grinder have to be used in? Was it the
Every
entire building?
There was, I think, 3 rooms that didn't get it, which was half of the main office and 2 of the support staff, or one was the break room and I think the nurse's clinic and a couple of offices back there, but the rest of it.
Do they rotate operators on that so one guy doesn't get stuck
I
in
hope
that
to God they
position?
did, because that thing would wear you out.
I just kind of picture, was it the movie Grown Ups where that guy was in a full body cast like that?
You know, that would be
kinda what I thought.
great, because that would actually be the perfect job for him. So.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been an ordeal over there. So, but they are, we had a meeting about it today. We're still on schedule to be operational first day of school. So.
And I had one more question too. And keep hearing complaints about the HVAC at the high school. I feel like that was just replaced right before I got on board, or most of it was done. A lot of that work was done, but I'm hearing that everything from Tiernan to spots in the building and whatnot have struggled consistently.
Mechanical upgrade has not been turned over to us yet.
Gotcha.
So we don't have total control over that yet. I know we have 3 different systems in the high school, so it's kind of which part you're talking about. And you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we ran into some huge issues with that cyber attack, and we're still fighting through some of that stuff. But as far as the graphics and the controls of it, that we're making the best we can. And Chris Pegg is our HVAC guy. He does phenomenal work, and he's really got a pretty good handle on it. So.
Can I throw on one more just for clarity's sake? For those who may not have been part of it, and I apologize for
No, you're fine, absolutely.
If the other thing to point out, especially because you mentioned Tiernan, that is not a new system in Tiernan.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we did a partial replacement of the systems in the building, so there are areas that are still old systems that don't have replacements. We replaced all of the central plant equipment that provides the hot or cold chilled water to some of those systems, but again, the individual units in some areas are going to be stuff that's going to replace. We had done that master study of the high school, and at the time the board moved forward on maybe 60% of the systems in that building. I'd have to go back to that. but we identified what had been done, so that will still be an ongoing something that will need to be done in those areas that we hadn't touched, just to be
No,
clear.
yeah.
It's not just a turnover thing, there are areas that weren't touched.
In the past couple days, it has been a little warm in Tarrant Center. We had to shut one of the 4 units down because we had Mr. Pritchard got introduced to his role, and he was out there with me Monday night about 8 o'clock trying to snake a drain out that was underneath the southeast corner, up in the very mezzanine. The drain had clogged, so all the condensation coming out of the HVAC unit was flooding out and coming down the stairwell. So we had a little bit of an adventure Monday night, and Sam got introduced to facilities. So
So if your toilet gets clogged, call Brad.
So.
I do have one more question.
Yep.
It doesn't pertain to bond at all. Are we ever gonna rehang pictures in Tierney Center?
That is, we will talk about that and with the cabinet and get direction on that.
Okay.
I know the intent was to have the pictures all digitally scanned and be rolling through all the television sets that are hung up there. One of the problems we have with going back with there are so many holes that were drilled in that block that once you start drilling more holes, you're starting to get into structural integrity of the block. And so that's why they've not been installed back yet, so.
Yeah. I'm sure those are so heavy, but I mean,
Unbelievable. Some of them were unbelievably heavy.
I mean, the 1966-67 state football champions, my dad's in the front row.
Right.
There's only like 3 people you can actually still see in the picture.
Sure.
I'll leave it at that. But it would be great to digitize.
Yes, and that was the
Because
original goal.
It's so great to see.
To have them all digitized and be able to,
Yeah.
and we'd even talked about having maybe a Clever Touch there in the McConnell room, whereas people when were going through or out in the lobby, where they'd be categorized by, year and sports. So if you wanted to look at the 1962 football team, you could go to the 60s, pull up 62, go to football, and this comes up, so.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about that, so.
Great.
Still kind of ongoing talks, I think, so.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we will have the Finance and Business Operations Monthly Report. And Ms. Scalf's on vacation, so Mrs. Marker will present that.
So Mrs. Scalf has provided me just some information to pass along about the monthly financial report for June 2026. We're going to start with the education fund. We continue to work to reduce budget expenses as we have discussed before. We will not be seeing any changes until August and September. Revenue projections reflect the FY27 state funding formula projections based on a minor student ADM reduction of 29 students that more closely reflects the end-of-year student count, which is slightly less than the February 2026 count. For the purposes of funding, beginning in July, the IDOE increased our student count in an amount that does not accurately reflect our student count trend. So for the purposes of cash flow, we're not counting on those funds to be realized during the next 6-month period. Adjustments are made in November and December when it's too late to make quick budget adjustments and expenses. The projected counts were run in the IDOE calculator for the funding formula and are as accurate projections as possible with the information known today based on a K-12 student count of 4,100. As staffing for the 26-27 school year continues to change throughout the summer months, personnel cost projections will reflect more actualized data until the August and September reports. And then moving to the operations fund, revenues in the operations fund were slightly higher than expected for June settlement. Original projections were based on the 2026 DLGF budget order, as that is the best, most current information the state provides to units of government. This occurred because the county abstract assessed values prepared April 1st for the spring tax bills were higher than the DLGF budget order assessed values, which drove down circuit breaker losses. This is a good thing. Since 2027 and 2028 are expected to see most significant statewide changes in tax laws, we'll continue to use conservative estimates for planning beyond 2026. And if you have any specific questions, please pass them along to me and I'll get answers for you.
Sure will. Questions? All right. It's expedient. All right, we will move on to consent items. Item 5.01 is the approval of minutes. 5.02 is human resources and addendum. 5.03 is contract cancellation and conversion. 5.04 accounts payable. 5.05 monthly financial report. 5.06 transfers. And 5.07 Form 9 financial report.
I move to approve the consent items as presented.
Second.
It's a motion by Member Stoltz, second by Member Stevens. Any questions or comments?
I had a question, but since Ms. Scalf isn't here, we'll probably have to pass it along unless someone might know. I noticed on the Form 9 biannual report, I'm gonna sound like know what I'm talking about, but there was a line item, on the obligations that I just didn't understand, and it shows like an interest debt. So it has beginning principal outstanding balance for the holding company, public and private, and then the retirement severance bonds from 7/1/2025 to 12/31/2025, which I understand. But then there, over on the right, there's an interest debt column, and I didn't know if that's debt, like we're accruing interest because we haven't paid those off. And then my question is why, or just what is the process? I don't remember ever seeing this specifically, so it may have been presented before, but I just wanted some clarity on that piece.
If you'll just kind of get that to me, then I'll get an answer for you.
Perfect.
All right. All those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Action items. Item 6.01, donations.
Move to approve the donations as presented.
Me second.
It's a motion by Member Stoltz, a second by Member Pickering. Any questions or comments?
Thank you. Donations are always welcome. I know there's sometimes slower in the summer months, but every little bit helps, and we always appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 6-0. 7-0, sorry. Item 6.02, tomorrow's teachers today, MOU with IU East.
I move to approve the T3 MOU with IUE as presented.
I'll second.
It's a motion by Member Stoltz, a second by Member Pickering. Any questions or comments?
I think I need to abstain because I am a Pathways teacher at IU East for one class.
Do I need to? I'm in the advisory board.
You're not receiving
I'm not receiving anything, but I just wanted to state that, so for clarity, in case anybody would later question.
Okay. All right, all those in favor, excuse me, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 6-0 with one abstention. Item 6.03, IU East College Now MOU.
I move to approve item 6.03, the IU East College Now MOU as presented.
All right. It's a motion by member Stevens, a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments?
No, I'm going to abstain again.
I have a somewhat of a comment. It's more around, I really, really want us to push, the College Now, the Indiana College Corps. Our high school team does a really good job trying to get it out there to the students. Now you have to bombard the parents sometimes. I have to, talk to my kid's counselor about, if I go talk to him, he's not giving me any info. So I just wanted to bombard the parents with this information because it is so helpful. And then with all of the degree changes and, we got to start them coming into 8th grade. And I'd rather have more info than none, but I appreciate these. It's so helpful to our kiddos. So.
No one talks about the cost-saving factor of that either.
I know.
And no one really does, and that's one of those hidden gems about that, because it cuts down on those college expenses because it's fewer credit hours that they have to take when they do graduate from here. And
Yes, I think is it $350 a credit? I think that's what they get, and $125 part-time, something but yes, it is so helpful.
Yep.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 6-0. Item 6.04, Indiana College Corps MOU with IU East.
I move to approve item 6.04, Indiana College Corps MOU with IU East.
Second.
It's a motion by member Pickering, a second by member Stevens. Any questions or comments?
Sitting out this one again.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 6-0 with one abstention. Item 6.05, Occupational Therapist Registered Agreement.
I move we approve action item 6.05.
Second?
Motion by member Brunton, as a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0.
Welcome back, Kristen.
Yeah, welcome back to the meeting.
Been gone too long.
She's going to get her time during the policy update.
Yes.
Item 6.06, Orientation and Mobility Services Agreement.
Move we approve item 6.06.
Second.
It's a motion by member Brunton, a second by member Stoltz. Questions or comments? All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 6.07, TBRI Consulting Agreement.
Move we approve item 6.07.
Second.
Motion by member Brunton, a second by member Eloriaga. Any questions or comments?
I have a question just about TBRI. I think when I started on the board, we were just rolling it out, and I think we started at the high school and maybe some middle school, but I didn't know, and maybe it's something that you guys can bring to us at some point during the school year of like how we've continued to roll it out, and what, because I think we've all seen a lot of benefit to it, but it's something I know I'd be really interested in, like that phased approach. I know we were doing, and I have no idea where we're at on that, but
Yeah, and I could speak a little bit on that. We are just a full implementation, even through our Head Start programming, all the way through the high school. And so we continue to have consulting services throughout the year through our TBRI consultant. And she's been on site to a couple buildings to help support them with different specific needs. And a couple of teachers have asked her to come on site to help support them within their classrooms. So she's been a great benefit to supporting not only our whole school buildings, but individual teachers, and then getting some nurture groups built up in schools as well. So just that consistent support not only offers the veteran teachers who have received the training, but then also our newer teachers who are typically onboarded around September, and then she can help bring them up to speed as well.
Great.
And they offer trainings throughout the year, so if you're ever interested in joining teachers when they're trained, I'd be happy to get you signed up so that you can see what the benefit is.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 6.08, Richmond Community Schools and Richmond Police Department School Resource Officer Management MOU.
Move to approve item 6.08.
Second.
Who said that? Was that? Okay, sorry. That's a motion by member Stoltz, a second by member Hillard. Any questions or comments?
Sorry, I'm just full of questions today. I think I sent this to you, potentially, maybe it's to the whole board, about getting sort of some metrics and data with the initial agreement that we had with RPD. I mean, clearly the parameters around of like, you want to try to focus on the good, but, you know, having that presence, and it's slightly different than what we had before, and, you know, I think it would be good to kind of get that information on things we've worked on, and or things we've seen, or trends, or how they're addressing any rising trends.
Mr. Hensley and I had a initial meeting with Officer Smith, and so we did request some of that data, but it just takes a little time to get, so it wouldn't be a time for the board meeting tonight, but we did request to get some of that data for you.
Great.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Abstain.
All right, vote passes 6-0 with one abstention. Item 6.09, cash tuition rates for out-of-state students.
I move to approve item 6.09, the cash tuition rates for out-of-state students is presented.
Second.
It's a motion by member Stevens, a second by member El Oriaga. Any questions or comments? Do we know what that number is by chance? Or was it in there?
Yeah, it's in here.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah, that's probably good to, so the public knows. Cash tuition for out-of-state students is $8,385.85. Per diem rate of $46.59. And then for international students, it's a flat $10,000 with a per diem of $55.56. Yep.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 6.10, RCS and Baker Tilly Statement of Work, review of the VEBA Employee Benefit Plan.
I move to approve 6.10, the RCS and Baker Tilly Statement of Work Review Viva Employee Benefit Plan as presented.
Second.
Was a motion by member Stevens, a second by member El Oriaga. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 6.11, Centerstone MOU.
I make a motion to approve 6.11 Centerstone MOU.
I'll second.
It's a motion by member El Oriaga, second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor vote by,
I
say.
do have one, sorry. There is no cost to RCS on this. I just wanted the public to know that.
That's a good call out.
Good job.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. On to a policy review. First policy, item 7.01 is policy 0100, definitions. This was April 2026 update, second reading and approval.
Take it away, Chris.
I move to approve policy 0100, definitions.
I'll second.
It's a motion by member Brunton, a second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments, Kristen?
This is my disclaimer at the beginning that what I'm going to say is a summary of each of these, which is very quick, and I'm not encapsulating everything that was discussed, but it's a quick summary. This came to the June policy meeting. It's basically a paragraph about a new definition about personal communication devices. It went from 2 sentences to a paragraph. So I'm being very concise tonight. And we've discussed these multiple times
Yes,
before,
yeah.
because they did come to first reading, so.
All right, and all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.02 is policy 5136, personal communication devices, April 2026 update, second reading and approval.
I move to approve policy 5136.
Second.
It's a motion by member Stoltz and a second by member Hillard. Any questions or comments?
This came to the June policy meeting. We discussed it at the last board meeting. We decided on storage and for communication devices instead of nothing. And now we know, we have known Indiana now bans the electronic devices, communication devices during the school day instead of instructional hours. Of course, there's exceptions to this.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.03 is policy 5120, assignment of students to schools and programs within the district. Second reading, this is up for second reading and approval. Bless you.
I move to approve item 7.03, policy, excuse me, policy 5120, the assignment of students to schools and programs within the school district on second reading.
I'll second.
All right, it's a motion by member Stevens, second by member Stoltz. Any questions or comments?
This came to the May and June policy meeting. The last time we reviewed this was 14 years ago. It gives direct details in the administrative guidelines for how we assign students to schools and programs within our school district.
All right, all those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.04 is policy 9270, equivalent instruction for compulsory attendance compliance purposed homeschooling and non-accredited schools. Second reading and approval.
I move to approve policy 9270.
Second.
Motion by member Stoltz, second by member Brunton. Questions or comments?
So this came to the May and June policy meeting. We discussed at the last meeting. It kind of boils down to, do we want students who don't attend RCS to be able to participate in extracurricular activities? Currently, it reads that if you were in a non-public school, you have to be dually enrolled is a requirement, and if you were homeschooled, enrollment is required, and procedures of how we do that is set forth in the AG. We have heard some information tonight that I found was very interesting, that some private schools don't take vouchers, which is something to think about, because that's something that we've discussed about being a concern is where we're always obviously mostly concerned about students and how they're learning, but we also need to be fiscally aware and think about where the money's going. So that has been one of our discussions. So I'll put that out there. And also, I know this was scheduled for approval, but if it needs further discussion, we can always discuss that further.
I had a question, because in the policy it says it's subject to the procedures set forth in the administrative guideline 9270, but I didn't see an admin guideline. Is that?
That's correct. So once a policy is agreed upon, we have to develop an AG that will be consistent for our middle schoolers especially, and also the high school. So until we have a policy that you guys are comfortable with, We don't want to develop an AG that would be confusing or be inaccurate. So that's why there's no AG listed in 9270.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think just for me, it's almost like trying to create an AG so we know when we do approve this, because like we're saying it's set forth in that and we don't have that yet. Obviously, chicken or the egg, which came first, but we do have these little nuances that I would feel more comfortable with if we kind of had that outline, right?
You
If
see a
it's-
draft of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
We'll move it to third reading.
Yeah.
I think so, because then,
Yeah.
you know,
Then we
just
get- yeah.
the Friends School and, you know, there's the
lot
up
of-
to middle school.
Do we want to consider putting in language that if a school doesn't receive vouchers, that, I mean, or is that making it too complicated, that then they could participate? Or do we, is that part of the AG that you're gonna talk about fees? I know, I'm trying to recall
Yeah.
our last conversation.
Yeah, we would have to lay all that out.
Okay,
It may be, I know it's not the usual process, but what may be beneficial is if we develop an AG, bring that to a policy meeting, we can kind of vet the AG, which is not typical, but in this case, might be important for us to do. And because it will impact kids, and we don't want to impact a kid negatively. That's the whole point. We also want to be, like Kristen said, fiscally responsible and aware, but we don't want to hurt kids. So I think what would behoove us is take an AG to the policy meeting, work on some language, and allow you guys some time to really think on it. That way we can be really thoughtful with what we do, or the board chooses to proceed with.
The other question I have, okay, so, just because a school is not taking vouchers and therefore not taking away, you know, money that's public, for public school, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily getting that money, though. From what I understand, when I clarified with Karen, we're still not getting that money. So I would I mean.
without the enrollment, the dual
Yes,
enroll, okay.
exactly.
Yes.
So, I think that's a factor. And then the other thing that was brought up by Becky is simply, she said, we'd be willing to have a conversation about paying to play, basically. Can we do that? What are the opportunities with that? So I'd like to kind of flesh that out.
Absolutely.
And see what opportunities we have there.
And I think, well, I'm sorry, to piggyback on Nicole's first point too, it's not just the financial aspect, but given the limited capacity that we have from space, coaches, you know, sometimes cuts are necessary on teams, even at the elementary levels. That could still be taking away a spot from an RCS student that, you know, people want to be here from the beginning. And I'm not knocking people that don't, but at the end of the day, we're here for RCS first and foremost. That's who we ultimately need to be looking out for. So, but yeah, I'd be curious to see if there is a partnership that we could, with a school like Friends, that we could possibly explore. But yeah, like I said, from you know, even a parent standpoint, if you have a non-RCS student that, you know, takes a spot from an RCS student or your student or whoever, that could be a concern.
No, I agree. And I think there's a difference in if it's not offered, right? If, you know, Friends stops at 8th grade, it's a different conversation
Right.
than.
That's
That's a
part of
totally
the
different
equation.
conversation, yeah.
School is a
Yeah.
completely different conversation versus maybe another school that doesn't have that sport and they, like, there's.
I think
There's a lot of factors
It
into
is.
this.
Yeah, I think the Friends School, specific, just hearing that, I think that presents
Yeah.
a unique
Yeah.
partnership opportunity, as does homeschool. But now, students, in my opinion, whatever, that's people that are leaving for like the micro school or whatever, just call it out. That's having your cake and eating it too. You don't want to be here, that's fine. You know, go with what suits you best, but I think that's where I would feel comfortable drawing a line and
That's kind of where I'm at
cutting
too.
them off. I mean, if, you know, the education's not good enough for you, neither is the extracurriculars, so.
You know, one of the things about schools of choice or choosing a school, it's usually done at the beginning when, you know, that pre-K level, you know, based upon maybe family values, other things as well. And then some people unfortunately don't have the opportunity to express their voices in the kind of school that they go in. So it's public education or nothing for them. I hope I'm leading to where I'm getting to. I value what she said immensely, because I know that students that attend that corporation or that opportunity do so based upon certain beliefs and values. And I like how frank she was in regards to they don't take vouchers, and it's not going to cost us anything. Whereas what you just said about somebody who now wants to take their student out to go elsewhere, I think there's a difference between that and this, okay?
I agree.
And that's where I stand on it. I want to support those who look at this as the opportunity, instead of those, to lack of a better expression, look at as this opportunity as a means of an escape.
Yep. I agree.
Stephen Hensley, is there opportunity to have data and or present data when we're going through the AG of finding out how many kids have been homeschooled that come to RCS, how many kids have come from Friends School in the last 5 years that have enrolled into Richmond Community Schools? Kind of see where I'm going, because I think the data can provide us the answers that we're looking for
Yeah.
when making this decision.
I think it may take some doing to figure out, like, coaches maybe don't know what schools they go to. They may just all assume they go to the same school, right? A coach may not ask what school you go to. They would just maybe assume, because they're all there together and they know each other and they're friends, and that's what happens. So it may take some doing, but I will unearth whatever data I can find with Mr. Pritchard, and we'll see what we can.
Is that what you're asking for? Are you saying like how many kids enrolled, like say, as freshmen in Richmond High School
you want
who attended homeschool or a
And or
private
yes,
school?
because I think
That's
too,
just
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
what's easier to find.
That is
Yes.
That's what I thought you meant, yes.
Simple data,
How
yes,
many kids are
absolutely.
coming into Richmond High School from non-traditional?
But I think if we're presented that data when we're coming in and we're talking about policy, we could sit there and actually, we could say, okay, we're talking about, the micro school, Well, again, it's like, hey, what are we doing here? You don't value our education, but you want to play with our sports, versus somebody, like you've said, homeschool, goes to Friends School, wants to come to Richmond later on. Yeah, there's a big difference.
Seems like more of a natural progression.
Correct.
And it's more than just sports too.
yeah.
It is more than
music,
sports, absolutely.
Right. I was gonna say, I know Karen had given us some numbers at one point of, I think we were just throwing them around, like what is the threshold? Like in writing, because I kind of need to see it. How many hours? I think we talked about halftime. What is that dollar figure?
Oh, okay.
What do we have to do to put that up? Because I think that would be part of this policy or AG too. Like here, you have to be enrolled this many hours. This is what it means, and then the different levels. But providing the schools an opportunity to come, maybe that is in the AG. Well, I don't know if that's really in the policy or the AG, to be able to come to administration and say, this is sort of, we've got these kids, can we come to an agreement on something? So it's not just closed down, like, here's what you have to do, because I think this will continually evolve, but give them an opportunity to.
I think.
My only caution to the board would be what you do for one in policy, you do for all in policy. So right now, there might be one micro school, there might be one non-public. That does not mean it won't be forever, so the board may have to revisit down the
That's
road if
fine.
if the circumstances change. But what we do for one in policy, we do for all.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be nearly impossible to cover every possible scenario, but yeah, I think, and what we heard tonight, even, big class was 9 students, but I mean, over time, that's how many students are, coming to Richmond High School ultimately. So, I mean, I think, and clearly too, this seems like there's a willingness for partnership there, whereas some others, it's
I think that's
go
the
poach
key.
kids.
That's the key too,
Willingness of partnership.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And Kim, to answer your question, I think we tried to capture that within the policy from the guidance from the DOE for the non-pub schools having to be dually enrolled, which would be half-time. Whereas homeschool, you could just take one class period, and that would be like 1/8 of the ADM. Now, the exact dollars we can get for you.
Okay.
So we tried to capture that between the two differences within the
That's what
policy.
okay.
Yep.
I have a question, just a parliamentary question. Do we have a motion on the floor to accept this upon approval? But I heard someone suggest possibly moving it to a third reading.
Correct.
Are you ready for me to withdraw my motion?
I hear what you're saying there.
I just want, we this, you know, we
It's a long
spent,
conversation.
we have had a lot of conversation on this policy for a long time, and I think the importance of it is manifesting itself again right now, because we've got new information tonight which inspires us to have new trains of thought. And so I just want to make sure that when we do finally make a decision on it, it's going to weigh into effect everything that we have heard and also discussed.
And I think my point of clarification would be if we don't have a new policy by the time school starts, we revert back to what's currently
I agree.
in place.
As we develop this, as we go along, I mean, I agree.
So I guess my hope
I
is that
would
we,
hope-
during the open forum, we can set the policy meeting.
To get this.
Because, and get one scheduled soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yes.
pointing that out.
Okay, so unless there's further discussion, I would like to withdraw my motion to approve policy 9270.
And I will withdraw my second.
Make a motion.
So that, the motion to approve has been withdrawn. You want to make a motion to move it to third reading?
I can, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll move to move policy 9270 to third reading.
I'll second.
All right, so that's a motion by member Stoltz and a second by member Eloriaga. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.05 is policy 7440.01, electronic monitoring and recording. This is a revised policy up for second reading and approval.
Move to approve policy 7440.01.
Second?
It's a motion by member Brunton, a second by member Stoltz. Questions or comments?
It came to the May policy meeting, basically says notices will be posted where smart sensory mentoring occurs, and signage is going to be inviting but informative.
All right. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.06 is policy 6320, purchasing. It's a revised policy up for second reading and approval.
I move to approve policy 6320, purchasing the revised policy upon second reading.
Second.
It's a motion by member Stevens, a second by member Eloriaga. Questions or comments?
Came before the May policy meeting. It basically says we can award work to our own employees when it's less than $375,000 without awarding a contract.
Okay. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.07 is policy 7540.02, digital content and accessibility.
I move to approve policy 7540.02.
Second.
It's a motion by member Stoltz, a second by member Stevens. Questions or comments?
Came to the March policy meeting. We got feedback from the tech department, and the administrative guidelines are going to define the rules and standards for staff and students who publish digital content on websites and apps.
All right. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0. Item 7.08 is policy 8500, food service program. This is a new policy up for second reading and approval.
I move to approve item 7.01, policy 8500, the food services program, upon second reading.
Second.
It's a motion by member Stevens, a second by member Hillard. Any questions or comments?
Came to the May policy meeting, Chartwell's looked at it along with the Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance. It's good to have this policy in place, and it will stay in place regardless of whatever vendor we use.
All right, all those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Vote passes 7-0.
Just a point to make. Last Wednesday, I was at Elstro Plaza. You know, on Wednesdays they have their food trucks, and Chartwell's has they have a food truck there giving out food, free food, to students and kids under the age of such and such. And again, I complimented them because I think we've all come to learn, especially in our executive sessions when they feed us, their food is very good.
It is really good.
And so I think it's a great partnership, and but then seeing them in the summertime that they're giving out free food and giving that to students is incredible. So
I have somewhat of a food service question. I know Ms. Scalpa's here. All my questions for Karen, but maybe Sam, Mr. Pritchard could answer. I know, so last year we had talked about and since we're going into open forum, we had talked about meals for sports, like after school, and trying to provide, if the football team is going away, and I know Karen was looking into Chartwell's providing like a box lunch, and I don't remember what the cost was, and I don't think it ever really materialized. But then a few months ago, Mrs. Scalf brought up the dinner program, and we want utilization in it. So, and we've just been so busy, but my thought was, if we want utilization in the dinner program, can we really roll that out to our after-school programs or ECAs, so they know that they can go grab something? Like, I don't know how it works. I don't know, I feel like it was a pretty new program last year, the dinner piece, but just a way, I know a lot of the parent groups try to get together and deliver food for kids that are.
I'll make a note to myself to talk
Yeah.
to Ms. Scott about that, because we do, so it just comes down to like timing and working with Chartwell's, because it is in place, the kids grab it, but it's like right at the end of the day. So it probably depends on their staffing and timing of when we leave from the way event.
Yeah.
Like, makes perfect sense to advertise.
But even
that
if
and
they're
make that
leaving at
connection.
5,
Make sure the kids grab it.
some kids just hang around, and I think it would be a better option. We see some of them walking down to get food because parents don't come pick them up. They're waiting to catch the bus to go somewhere, or even go over just to dentist. But that's been in the back of my mind for a little bit.
Would
The
that
way
be-
to bring up that
would that be
utilization.
solely during the school year or all year round? Because I'm thinking right now, we've got the band, we've got the football, and they're all practicing, and they're coming here.
And parents have to bring them
Mhm.
dinner, especially on their long days. A couple of places have provided food, but yeah, band is here, and I know Chartwell's probably isn't here on site necessarily. I know they go, don't we have different stations for the summer feeding?
Yes.
So can we feed the band? Is that too much?
They actually have groups,
I don't know.
community groups. I know I've participated, like our church fed them,
They
like,
do,
and
but
do
sometimes
have-
they don't. Like this last week, parents had to
didn't.
bring,
Okay.
I think this week, on Thursdays, they do a 2 to 9. So we have to either come pick them
Okay.
up and take them to dinner, or drop something up, which is fine, but it's just like if we've got something in place, or just if the boosters are paying a little bit, or, it's not just about being free, but convenience, I think.
Or if we have access, then why not extend
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I know there's so many rules and regulations to those programs, but Mr.
Yes.
Pritchard, we'll reach out, we'll connect out.
Also, since are we in open
Are we
forum?
in open forum?
Okay, if
We're
we are.
officially on to open
Thank
forum.
you.
Okay.
I was looking at dates, so a policy meeting, trying to get before school starts, if that's it, and it's one that 4 people can come to that we could vote on to make things clear, but also not mess with orientation, which looks like starts August 4th. And so July 28th, it's set to be a 10 a.m. one, but we can certainly make it an evening meeting, which is fine to get, if we can get 4 board members there to discuss and look through. I didn't know what everyone's schedule is like.
I'm in a conference.
I'm out of town July 28th.
Okay,
I cannot do the evening.
okay.
Might be able to do the morning.
I could probably do morning on July 28th. It's
So
a Tuesday.
How many people can do 10 a.m. on July 28th?
10 a.m. is, we have new teacher orientation, that's the first day. Could we push it to a different day that week in the evening?
Yeah, or in the evening, okay, yes.
I think it'd be my opinion that an evening may be beneficial.
Okay.
I think we may have more people be able to come to it if they want to give their public
Yeah.
comment. It's a policy that people are really looking at, so the evening might be a better time.
What
for us.
about the 29th in the evening?
I can do the 29th.
So I have 4 people who can do, and we're talking about evening, are we talking, I think we normally, we go between 2 or 10, I'm just trying to say some consistency with our policy meeting.
Yeah.
Is it 4 or 4:30? It's
It's usually
4:30. 4. Is that evening enough? 4 p.m. on
Yeah.
July 29th. Who do I have that can be here at that time?
I can.
So Kathy,
I'm gone the 27th through the 30th.
you're gone. Okay, so Austin or Michael, because
I'll be here.
Not 100% sure. I'll have to
okay,
check
so
that.
let's look
I'll
at
be-
another date, because there's only, let's
I
get
think I
4
can
of
do the
us.
29th though. So.
I'll be there, Paul. I'll be there on June.
But are you still, you're not, should I look at another date just to get,
I'm about 85%.
okay, let's look at another date to be sure. July 30th.
That I
Stephen?
cannot.
I can do the evening.
No,
That I
No,
cannot.
no, that one's out. Okay. What about the 27th?
I can do the 27th.
Evening, the 27th?
I can do any time until the 27th.
I can't do the
Jim's
27th.
I'm
At midnight? I
unavailable.
mean, no.
What about the 25th?
No.
I can do.
That
do the
does-
25th.
Okay,
27th.
we're not,
Okay.
I don't think.
Excuse me, I didn't mean the 25th.
Okay.
What is the Monday of the week of the 27th?
27th, that's the date.
27th?
Yeah, Monday, the 27th. So how many people can do the 27th at 4 p.m.?
I can do the
1, 2,
27th.
3.
I can.
You sure?
Yes.
4.
I cannot do the 27th.
Can you do that one?
I can do it.
Okay, so we can have 5.
There you go.
Send out, say, you 5.
Must
the
be there.
parents Said you
Okay.
could come.
Okay,
Or else.
so July 27th
She does it
at
sometimes, but she
4
doesn't call us out.
p.m.
Kim, Kathy,
I'm writing them down, don't worry.
Austin,
She's writing them down.
Aaron.
Austin.
Okay.
Committed
Okay,
yourselves to the
July
27th
27th, 4 p.m. will be the next policy meeting. Okay, great.
Your names aren't spelled right, by the way.
I'm sorry. I had my dates all screwed up. I'm gone
Hey,
that
Ron, oops,
Tuesday
sorry.
through Friday.
It won't take long. It's certainly not a celebration, at least from my perspective, but I got the phone call that I should have not taken from Lisa Tanzel and on behalf of Seamus Boyce, and I'm going to be serving on the ICOSA Legislative Committee this year, so that means we're going to have several, this has been a long session, several virtual meetings of our committee, and the committee itself, Aaron being this board liaison, is going to be very busy. I can tell you from other relationships I have that aren't education-based, there's been a lot of discussion of what this session is going to look like, what funding is going to look like, what we're going to be doing as it relates to local income tax, and to even attempt to predict, I guess, is futile, certainly at this point. I would only ask that A, pay attention, B, give the last year some thought as to what issues have arisen, and this is probably more to our administrative staff, but what areas, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. No, it doesn't mean you're going to get it, but just think about what legislative needs we might have that need to be addressed, and I think we need to be really intentional because things happen fast, even though it's a long session. And once deals are made, sometimes they're hard to get unmade. Keep that in mind. Aaron, you and I will be
Yes.
talking a lot.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I have two.
Go ahead.
I have one other thing. It's the time of the year that I'm going to do my shameless complaining about our online student registration process.
Shameless.
I know we talked about it last year, and we were getting ready to kind of go through the Power School upgrade for HR. Dr. Ray we were talking about that time. I don't think he really knew how cumbersome it is to register, even re-register. If anyone would like, I have 4 kids, I will walk you through it. But, we talk about every year, a lot of our parents wait till the last minute. We do offer them to come into the school on back to school night, and people are helping them through. I know it's really a system limitation probably, but just a way that we can automate it, move into the 21st century a little bit with that re-registering. You're going into each kid separately, you're filling out the same thing. I could probably just go in and hit save, and it has old dates, but I don't even know what the dates really do. I have to provide a bill every year for my address. Last year it was 60 days old, 2 months, and I had to send in a new bill, and I'm like, I'm on the school board, y'all know where I live. I know it's not just me, but it's just very cumbersome. I hear it from my friends too. They're like, what can we do about this process? And it's like, bottom of the totem pole, but it should just be our kids auto re-register if you need to make a change. The different steps in it, the first couple years I think I filled them all out. Now I don't even fill them out. No one says anything. It's because I don't know what's necessary, but so, in y'all's free time, like how can we just make it easier? How can we make it more user-friendly? How can we click a button and say apply this to all kids and the family, and everybody's re-registered type of thing?
We'll look into that. I know there are several requirements by the state for things that we need to gather for families for each student. As I was working on getting Title I documents ready for this school year, we're required for the McKinney-Vento housing questionnaire for everybody. We want them to fill that out. That way we know if they need additional support. Things have changed over the summer. They need resources, migrant workers. So there are some cumbersome pieces though that are required, and so how do we look to streamline that maybe so it's easier, so like one family can just complete them for all the kids in one spot. So I definitely
But like I said, I know a lot of it's system limitations, but I know there's also a lot of things we probably have not looked at it because it's not broken by any means, but seeing how many parents actually come in and are registering at, especially on the elementary levels, there's a lot every year. And some of it's, they might not have a computer at home. Some, it might just be like they couldn't figure it out. There's a language barrier. So how can we just make it easier?
Yes.
So that was all.
And a plug for registration next Thursday and Friday. So for families that are, struggling or need some additional supports, Thursday 12 to 6 at the buildings and Friday 8 to 2. So please come in and secretaries and staff can help you get registered.
Perfect.
I just had 2 housekeeping things. Austin had sent out a email and had 2 questions that I thought, hey, it's open forum, let's talk about these so that we get these nailed down. The first question was, well, Elizabeth had one, the financial workshop. A couple people had said that they would like to do that. It would possibly be kind of like a board retreat type thing. So are we wanting to do that, and if so, when? So what do we think? There was a little bit of discussion. Some people have said, Kim, you said something about an outside.
Well, I know
I think we have to have an outside consultant for a retreat.
Right, but she was saying.
Yeah. So we were using
an
policy
agreement.
analytics. I know that Karen, they're helping us with figuring out SCA 1 and how we can navigate, but having them come in or asking to kind of just help facilitate, because it's about our finances, but also I'm interested in like the bigger picture, like how can we Not just how can we fix ourselves, like someone else kind of coming in and providing that oversight, but, and I don't know what really is contained in that agreement. Or
So Elizabeth, would that make sense for them to come in and do that?
I can look into that and see. I know Karen was wanting to kind of give a financial workshop as well, and so Ron, I don't know if that would be under a retreat, providing professional development to the board, if Mrs. Scalf is also doing that. Okay, within that, so we might be able to do both.
Again, I would reiterate what I just said, and that is timing is going to be everything, because unless you, and I really like policy analytics, and the fact we just had a presentation by him at the county last week. But, you know, their crystal ball may not be any clearer than anybody else's. So at least I think you need to, basically, where the activity in the session has pretty well limited the legislation that's pending to passing the houses and then joint committees. So that, and, you know, it's a 61 session days, maximum 61 session days by what, April, so I don't remember that. That would be my only concern, and I think they would be the first to tell you that, you know, we should, when that time might, and it's going to be a dynamic, so, you know, we couldn't even predict it now, I don't think.
Well, I know like the 4 hours was thrown out, and then maybe like that was also backed up to maybe 2 hours. So could you see if they could do something like a 2-hour kind of?
Do we want to set a time, like figure out a few dates so that we can get?
And give those to them?
Because then it gets things moving, I'd say.
One thing I'd mentioned on the call last Thursday for the agenda session was just everybody needing to maybe be a little bit flexible around admin's time, just with obviously back to school ramping up. I'm sorry to say that out loud, but I mean, I'm ready for my kids to go back. I don't, but but yeah, just keeping in mind the added weight that they've got to carry, you know, going into, you know, back to school events and whatnot. So.
And I think too, I was just thinking about when I came on, right, I met with Jamie, and then last year's president, I met with Karen, and I met with Melissa. So I feel like I'm not well-versed by any means, but I know, like Kathy, like just met with them. I think you two probably have in the last 2 years too. So we should do it every year. But
Right,
I think
it's good to have
4
a
of us have
refresher
like
Over 2
had it quite a bit, especially, you know, the bond projects and all of that going in. But yeah, my thought was just having that bigger picture resource, because I think some of our questions are like, well, how are other people handling it?
Correct.
Which, you know, Karen knows a lot, but she's focused on
I think the brief
us.
analysis you heard tonight was helpful, because I think the same questions were asked a month and a half ago, and we had our 1782, but we really didn't have a feel for how that was going to be until we saw what first half collections were, and they came in higher. They're playing with the numbers, we're driving the rate down, and as Margaret said, you know, arguably there's a silver lining there if we have lesser circuit breaker impact. But
yeah. But I think the DLGF don't they come in? I know there's a resource that is her sole job to come in. I know she just met with the county.
Well, they're supposed to send it by the end of July, or they're supposed to send the circuit breaker, estimated circuit breaker impact. They had the benefit of seeing collections. They'll know how many assessment appeals were cut off June 15th, so they should know how many of those are in the works. But the things that are being talked about are out of the box, even for Senate Bill 1, and they're not all kind of schools.
Yeah. Or is it helpful if we don't ever meet with like the county government, and I feel like we're battling some of the same things, like the local income tax. Is it helpful to have a session? I don't know, just throwing that out there.
I'd maybe start with the policy analytics and kind of get our feet wet personally in my, you know, especially for acclimating new, you know, board members and refresher for all of us. And then if we feel like, oh, we need to like dig into this a little more, then can do a combo. That's my opinion. And then to Austin's point, are there dates we need to stay away from?
Should we, I mean, are we looking into
August 5th,
September
right?
to, are we thinking September? Okay.
You wanna look?
That's the day
okay.
we don't want to schedule anything else.
Yeah, I would say late August, 1st of September.
Okay, so like
The
that
first couple weeks of school here.
August 31st, 1st of September week, or is that, because that's before Labor Day, or do you want it after Labor Day?
Or it'd be fine.
Before?
We
Okay.
talking, what are we talking, like Saturday, Sunday?
So this would be like a 2 to 3 hour block in the evening, probably.
Two.
Okay.
2 hour
Keep it
block.
two.
Yeah.
I hear you, 2 hour block.
You know, I agree with Chris on that.
Okay.
Keep it 2 hours.
So what, does that, well, we'll start at the beginning. August 31st, does that work for people or not?
When is homecoming this year? I tried to find it, I could not find it.
Homecoming is September.
September 18th? It was early last, no, I'm just,
11th?
there's so much. I feel like once you get past homecoming, things are settled.
Mr. Fisher, do you know where homecoming is?
September 9th.
Homecoming?
September 9th?
Where or when?
Or sorry, that's the
That's the parade.
That's the
Okay.
parade, right?
So it'd be the
September 11th.
10th or 11th, yeah.
Okay.
The 11th,
Okay.
yeah.
So is August 31st good or bad for people?
Works for me.
I'm good.
Good, good. Kim?
This is totally funny.
A Monday.
Monday? I'll make it happen.
It should be fine. We don't
Okay, should be
I'll make it
good,
happen.
make it
block our
happen.
schedules yet, but.
We'll probably make it happen. Kinda far out.
Probably.
I just gotta say something funny. You remember last week when we were getting ready for the graduation ceremony, we were looking at the quality of threads on our gowns last week?
Yeah, last week.
And now we're talking about homecoming. Where did the time go?
Yeah.
Where did the time go?
Still young at heart,
It's,
bud.
Well,
Still
this is,
young.
it's,
I'm young. This is slowing down for me.
Centuries, no. Okay, why don't we just,
And the time?
We
Put
doing
that-
6 to 8? Or are we talking like 5 to 7?
5 to 7?
5 to
5 to 7?
7, thank
Okay.
you.
okay.
Okay, and then you'll let us know whether that works for them.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
All right, so financial workshop, 5 to 7 on the 31st. Okay. The next question that was brought up in regards to RAM, yeah, so big news. The Richmond Art Museum was awarded a Lilly grant, huge, $500,000. And they have some ideas on how they would like to basically share that with RCS. So they would like to meet with us and talk about some of the concepts. So our question is, are we wanting to meet with them? And if so, when? So that's kind of the question on the table. And some people had chimed in online, or not online, but
Email.
on the email, yes. So, thoughts on that?
I think that would be a great opportunity for us.
Okay.
I think at any time, I mean, if someone wants to collaborate with us on a large sum of money that can benefit our students and the community, that I'm interested in hearing what they have to say.
Aaron?
I'm great with it. You know, anything that, as she was saying, but then I'm thinking also about a recent post on Facebook in regards to the significance of McGuire Hall and the relationship between RAM and McGuire Hall. Anything that we can do to really, again, bring to awareness the relationship between the arts and Richmond Community Schools, you know, that's a win-win.
Okay.
I think the point I was trying to make was just try to follow the same process, because we don't really say any nonprofit or any group can just come have an exec session with the board and present ideas, and we're talking through it. So, you know, it's what is our process for that? You know, we were doing the bond work. It was sort of like, okay, board, stay out of it. Admin's gonna bring us sort of recommendations. So my thought was like RAM should be meeting with admin, like they can share those, you know, items. I think you said like 3 to 5 or whatever they're looking at. Because for me, I would like, and we talked about this in different capacity too, of like, share it with the board, but not in an exec session first, right? Like, share with admin, make sure they're on board, because it shouldn't really be a direct line, have an exec session with us. But then admin can be like, yeah, we think these are good ideas, and we can look at it and be like, sure, then we would meet.
Gotcha.
Like, I didn't, my thought, I just didn't want them coming in, we don't know what they're talking about, because we wouldn't do that for
And that was
any other
something
group.
that, yeah.
That was
said,
my
like,
concern.
I mean,
Make
we
sure that
want, we
they-
would
I
want
s-
to, I mean, any, like,
Share your
we want
ideas.
us to come
Right.
in, but I,
Anybody who gets $500,000 from a Lilly grant, I congratulate them. It's a process. And my thought is that they should share their top 3 to 5 things. That's kind of what I said last week. They should share the 3 to 5 things with the administrative team on what they should do, what they want to accomplish, and how this benefits Richmond Community Schools. Once that is presented, then that should go to the board, and then we should discuss how and when we should do an exec session. $500,000 can go a long way for us, but that should be presented to the process part. You know, many nonprofits, if they start seeing that we will have exec sessions for everything, I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't know what precedent that's setting. I would think
Yeah.
that I would feel more comfortable if they, as has historically been done, meet with admin first, share those ideas. Admin shares with us. We either ask questions, we have an exec session with admin, to where, you know, and I mean, obviously looking at Mr. Walton here, there's probably some shared facilities opportunities that both.
Parking lot between us.
Yeah, entities that, both entities have, you know, interest in
Be
looking at
nicely
spending dollars
paid.
on. But, yeah, I think for any nonprofit in the community that, you know, if we set this one, then, you know, I'd want to, you know, say one or the other or whatever, but then do they approach, and then if we decline, you know, why are we choosing one and not the other?
Okay.
So that would be my thing. I don't, why would this one be done differently? I think that it needs to go through admin. That way, you know, they could find those shared,
Commonality.
yeah, the commonalities, like, hey, we
vet
have.
some of this stuff,
I mean-
because they might have ideas that are completely not doable. It comes to us,
Mhm.
we're like, yeah, and then Brad's like, nope.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
And then, you know, we're just, it's like that mental capacity, like, we're just,
I just,
But
I
I'm
mean,
fine doing it either way, you know, whether it's through, I would like to hear, you know, obviously, as you guys know, I'm part of, so I have a good idea what's gonna be presented, but,
can you share that?
I can give some things that have been tossed around, that, like, there isn't an actual, like, presentation yet that they're ready to, you know, hand over, but some of
Would
the
we be able to
things-
see what they submitted to Lilly?
Possibly. I don't know if they can.
I don't know if that's allowed to be shared,
I don't know
or.
if it is either, to be honest,
because
but.
do they have to do what they submitted to Lily, or do they?
I would
Yes,
assume so, yeah, you
yes,
gotta.
but there's, you know, there's flexibility within that, and,
Okay.
you know,
What if
there's-
we can't do that?
What's that?
What if we can't do what they submitted?
Then we can't partner in that way, yeah, so.
And that,
That's
that,
the-
these-
what
that's
They're
how
not
we
gonna
get-
present anything that they can't do.
No, but what happens, I mean, they lose that grant.
No, then they would spend the money on, in other ways.
is that-
you
the
know,
grant's got a
that
shelf life
does-
on it, right?
They get the money.
It's a year,
They've
right?
got
Right.
money.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
they
I
have
don't
to
know
spend it
what
within a
the-
year,
Right.
right? I think it's what they
So
said.
so then
there's-
it goes back to the process, you know.
See,
Top,
that's, see, right.
top 3, 5 things that you want to do. Send it to admin, talk with admin, because admin, we have a strategic plan that we want to follow too. So we have a strategic plan. They are given a $500,000 award. How does that affect us? How can that affect our strategic plan? And then present that to the board, and then we could have an exec session. I think that's the process.
But you
we
can't
should-
make a decision in exec
Right.
session, obviously.
Right, absolutely.
Anything you do, I mean, you have every right to have that exec session, but, for several reasons. Because you'll be talking about issues that are going to be considered as deliberative material presented to you in anticipation of your decision-making. Makes it not subject to access to Public Records Act, therefore it can be talked about.
Right.
So at the end of the process, to get the process,
Right.
A, I think you got to have a public hearing, and then B, you make your decision in the public.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm hearing that there's interest, you know, as far as hearing their ideas. It's just how we want to go about doing it. I'm hearing that 3 people are saying they would like admin to vet it first, for sure. And by the one thing I would like to point out, I do personally feel like the art museum isn't just a nonprofit in relation to us. We have 3 on-site partners. We have the art museum, the symphony orchestra, and Civic Hall. Those are people that are on-site that are all, you know, non-for-profits, but they have a special agreement and relationship with us, which I feel like therefore isn't just a not-for-profit. So in that regard, I do feel like we wouldn't be setting a precedent if we chose not to have admin vet it. But I'm also fine, you know, if the consensus of the board is we want admin to vet it first, and then we'll hear from them, or if we want to just hear from them, either way. So, with that said, I guess we just need to decide which way to go.
And I appreciate what you just said, because I was about to bring it up, the fact that, you know, these are 3 unique, or particularly RAM is very unique because they're in our building, you know, and they're on-site partners as opposed to another 501c3 or nonprofit, you know, who's off-site. I like the idea of vetting it through the administration and then having the discussion with them. Otherwise, you know, we could go into
Pie in the
different.
sky.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
That's what we will do.
So, but
That
that's.
obviously might imply a meeting of our admin with their designated representatives, because
Right.
I'm sure that they're just not gonna take notes and say, okay, I'll take this to the board. There's gonna be questions that need to be asked and need to be answered, or at least caught.
And that's how it, yeah, and earlier this year, a couple of their representatives met with Dr. Wright, and he did ask in that case that I tag along, but at that point, they were wanting to see, they were going to submit the Lilly grant, and they were, you know, wanting to see, hey, is there appetite for the board to endorse that? And like, I don't wanna speak for everybody now, but I would assume yes. And then part of that did revolve around the classrooms, and we discussed that there was not appetite at that point, you know, just based on unknown space needs. But again, that funneled through Dr. Wright to the board, so that would just give me a bit more of a comfort level, even, and that's just me personally. But I was going to ask actually, Aaron, historically, has either of the 3 entities historically just had open access? And I only ask because you've been on a couple of years longer.
Open
than,
access to us?
Yeah,
Just
just
longer than us, right?
No.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see why we would change that now.
Yep.
But I think at the same time, because we do have those 3 partners, it's a good time to identify them and the process we want to follow, like moving forward. Because it is, no, they're not just a nonprofit, but it should be called out. Like, you know, if
This
they
is how
want, if they want to, you
this
know,
is the
engage,
procedure
this
for-
is, this is
Okay.
what needs to happen.
So,
I'm curious as to what Elizabeth would like.
Yeah, I am in the agreement that we would like for it to, you know, at least have a presence, you know, at those conversations, but to funnel it through administration first, just because of all the different projects that we have going on. We can help to guide those conversations, what aligns with the strategic plan, what's best for students, what's best lined up with facilities projects, and then be able to bring a recommendation to the board as a collaborative unit, right? Maybe not just administration, but in line with RAM.
That's good. Thank you. Yeah, I value that.
all right, are we good with
Public
that
hearing on Pearl
then?
Harbor Day.
Yes.
What's that?
I said we could have our public hearing on Pearl Harbor Day.
The Pearl.
Unless it's a Saturday or Sunday.
Yes. Okay, so, with that said, it sounds like, maybe tag you're it as far as getting together with, Sean Dingworth and figuring out a date that works for you guys to, all right,
And then
perfect.
I think maybe you got cut off earlier, but and then maybe you don't want to share or can't share, and that's fine. But did you have an idea on kind of what it
Some
was
of the
looking
stuff,
for? Or?
yeah, some of the things that have been tossed around, there are, well, just tonight, Mr. McCurdy alluded to, and Brad, some HVAC issues, so climate issues that could possibly be addressed with some of those funds. Part of that is humidity issues that affect artwork, which is more of a RAM issue than a RCS, but the climate is definitely an RCS issue. And it you know, that's something we've identified as we would love to address that, but haven't had the funds to do it, so that could solve that. Security issues have also been identified in that area of the building. We are currently working on addressing those, but this could double down on some of those efforts, just, yeah, so that would be something. And then education opportunities for furthering the arts programs that are already, and again, that would be something then that we, RCS, would not be paying for, and they would be.
Hey,
So-
Nicole, just to
Yeah.
piggyback off you on that one, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but does Kokomo do something with the arts, have art programs with their art area?
I don't know what Kokomo does.
Yeah, well, I think, I was talking to Sean last year about
Okay.
what, there were some programs that,
Like we replicate
yes,
also?
kind of, so
Oh, it might have been like one of the mental health, that we have a traveling mental health exhibit.
Okay.
That all of our students have
think it
gone
was
through.
that. I
It's
think it
been
was something like-
widely successful. It might be that Kokomo has done that one also.
yes, and it hits different,
And
hits
one of the
different areas of our
things,
school
the
system.
art museum.
Right.
Well, there's also that, and that's a whole nother thing, but there, yes, we have.
I couldn't remember the conversation I had with Sean, but I know it was something
No,
big.
that's right, there's lots of cool stuff, but yes, the mental health component, which actually ties right into Wit and Wisdom.
Right.
The art museum's considering having a permanent exhibit that students could come to then, that would very much support our strategic plan.
Correct.
So again, lots of collaborative concepts that we would, it'd behoove us to look into.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, anything else? We will preview upcoming meetings and events. We just scheduled the July policy meeting for the 27th, 4 p.m. And then our next regular business meeting is Wednesday, August 19th at 5:30 p.m. Any other events anybody wants to call out?
Back to schools when?
No. Back to school night for elementary and Hibbard is Monday, August 4th from 4 to 6, and then Tuesday, that is Monday the 3rd. So sorry, Monday the 3rd from 4 to 6 for Hibbard. Is that going to be your bell ringer, Bridget?
In that case, come on back up.
I'll take it.
Yes, I know, come on. So Monday, August 3rd, very excited, 4 to 6, all over elementary schools in Hibbard Program Building will be having their open house. On Tuesday, August 4th, from 4 to 6, Baxter and Tester Immediate School will be having their open house. And then 5 to 7 on August 4th, Dennis Middle School and Richmond High School. And then the big first day of school on August 5th. So, very excited. And then band day on the 7th, and freshman orientation on the 4th, I mean, all of it, so, lots going on.
My daughter did ask me how many.
Yeah, on-site is that the 23rd and 24th, from, I think she's mentioned it earlier, so, and then that back-to-school 23rd, 24th, you're right. And then we're also, the back-to-school newsletter will be going out tomorrow, so that has all the school supply list, immunizations, back-to-school information, everything, so, thank you.
Meridian's also having their Fit Fair.
Fit Fair on the 24th.
24th,
So
and
if anyone needs a sports physical, it's $10. And then they'll be passing out 300 backpacks. And then we're also, the health department will also be there for immunizations if students need to catch up on their immunization
I think
requirements.
Meridian's currently scheduling appointments too, aren't they, for sports physicals as well?
Yes, they are. They are taking those as well.
Which is a very simple, easy process.
Yes. And we recommend that for 5th grade through 12th grade for RCS students. Thank you.
My daughter asked me how long till school starts, and I told her 3 weeks, and she about had a meltdown. Then she came up with the best, she thinks it's the best solution. She asked me how many days were in a year. She's 7, I told her, and she said, so don't you think that we should go to school half of that time, and then the other half is summer? And I said, that is a genius idea.
There you go. Perfect.
I just want
And
to
then I gave her the reality of the days.
I just want to give a big shout out to our Richmond High School is providing summer camps for athletics. So those coaches that are out there, those Richmond High School athletes that are helping the youth programs, building that foundation, just kudos to you guys, because I know what it takes, and it's pretty awesome that you're providing those services. So, thank you.